Okay, so good morning again. And yeah, so we are talking about ratio. I'm only saying that ratio is something. One basic idea of ratio. One basic idea of ratio would be like market women, especially what we can call rural women, where people still contribute money. Let's say someone is contributing. Let's say in these days, somebody is contributing 200 or 2,000 every week, right? And is contributing 2,000 every week. Another person is contributing 3,000. Let's say it's only these two people that are contributing. One is contributing 2,000 and one is contributing 3,000. If at the end of the day, if at the end of the day they have 1 million to share, you know, that type of thing, people we are doing it. You get, if you are the one, how do I normally say it, if you are the one that is hosting the meeting, you are not hosting it from that contributed money, you are the one to host people. So according to stipulated according to what the constitution, whether written or unwritten, of the organization said. So if they have 1 million, they will share this money. They're always doing it. But if you want to do it now, it will look like a very big ratio. But so to start with, if you want to say there are three methods again to do this. So there's three methods to do this, to share 1 million. We can share it gradually. So you can take 2,000. One person, you can take 2,000, I take 3,000. You take another 2,000, I take 3,000. That is the exact way we put the money. So at some point, the money will finish. You know what you have and what I have. So this could be one basic way of doing it. Another one, because 1 million is a little big, so we can increase it. So you take, since this is 2,000, you take 20,000, I take 80,000. Sorry, you take 20,000, I take 30,000. So the first round we are going to take 50,000. But it seems that it's still that is still small, since the money is big. Okay, so what if you take 200,000, I take 300,000, 500,000 is gone, right? So it's the remaining 500,000. If you take another 200,000, I take 300,000. So at the end you took 400,000, I took 600,000, right? That is gone. So this would be one way of solving this ratio. And this also corresponds like the one we did yesterday when we are solving average. So the when we note what's the value we want to share. Okay, but we can also use the standard way we know for solving this, which would be what is A share. If we say that this 200, if we give it A, make it A, and make B 300, so that this will be 200. Sorry, this is 2,000 actually. 2,000 over 5,000 times 1 million.
Or 5,000.
Yes, 2,000 over 5,000. That is 2,000 plus 3,000. One is 2,000. The other one is 3,000. So 2,000 plus 3,000 is 5,000. So the one that is contributed to 2,000, we get 2,000 over 5,000. Okay, times the amount to be shared. In this case, 1 million. So we can say share 1 million.
Why do you have process?
Oh, it's just a method. It's just a method, which we call method 2 now. Share 1 million into share 1 million for A and B. Okay, for A and B. So this will be, let's cancel. I'm also writing now, if you check the screen. So if you cancel this whole thing, we are going to have 2,000 times 1,000 divided by 5. 2,000 times 1,000 will give you 2,000 times 1,000 will be 2 million. 2 million divided by 5 will be 400,000. Even at this point, the remaining will be for B, is that not? 1,000 minus 1 million minus 400,000 will give us 600,000. But if you use the ratio method, it will still give you the same thing. So this will call the second method of solving this. See again the third method. We can also say that this 2000 we add s to it, because 2000 is a ratio, it's not an actual number, but if you add s to it, but remember that we don't know s, 2000s plus 3000s will give us 1 million. Then at this point we solve for s. 2000 plus 3000 will give us 5000, so 5000 s will give us 1 million. Why are we solving it in 3 different ways, or even in more ways? Just because of how the question will appear. So how the question will appear, we decide which method to be used. So we are solving it using different methods because we don't know how the question will appear. For example, can we move on now? 1 million divided by 5000. Again, if we take the zeros and again, so we are left with 1000 divided by 5. 1000 divided by 5 is what?
200.
No? Yeah, it's 200. Yes. It's 200. Again, 2000 times 200 is 400,000, and 3000 times 200 is 600,000. So this is the basic idea of ratio. Yes. All of them. It depends on what they gave you. Okay. Ratio, proportion is when you express ratio, and proportion can be direct or indirect, maybe sometimes mixed. A direct proportion, for instance, is like this. What is direct? Direct simply means one thing is increasing, the other one is also increasing. Let's say the quantity of fuel. If you use 5 liters of fuel, and the 5 liters lasts for 10 hours. If you put 10 liters of fuel, it's supposed to double the time. So the more the quantity of fuel, the more the time it will last. So this is the direct proportion. What is an indirect proportion like? An indirect proportion would be if you want to get a work done, you have 10 days. If you have 10 days for a work and you're employed 20 people, 20 people will get a work done in 10 days. At this rate, if you employ 20 people, it will last only 5 days. Right? You have a work, so you hire laborers. Laborers can do it for you in 10 days.
How many people in 10 days?
Sorry. Let's start again. Let's say 5 laborers can do a work for you. 5 laborers. Let me even put it. It's something you already know. 5 men can do a work for you. So I'm putting it here as 10 days. If you hire 10 men, they will working at that same rate. They will stay only 5 days. Is that not?
Yes.
Okay, but here, what is the work done? The work is still the same work. 5 times 10 is 50, and 10 times 5, right? Because the work they produce is the same thing. So that is what you are equating. So the other one was a direct proportion. Now, it's very important also to say how to express a direct proportion and how to express an indirect proportion. For a direct proportion, when we have a direct proportion, is the ratio. Let's say 5 liters of fuel lasts 10 hours. Then 10 liters of fuel will last 20 hours. That is direct for you. But for indirect proportion, 5 men times 10 is the same thing as 10 men times 5. Because this is actually what we already know, but we are looking for a way to put it down. Because when the question is complex, we cannot rely on our imagination or our intuition. We need to formulate it. it's also good to say in indirect proportion, what is constant is the quotient, is a division, like 5 over 10, 10 over 20. And in indirect proportion, what is constant is the product from one instance to another. So we'll come to that. Then finally, the next item here is percent. Percent is also something. Percent is also a relative term. Have you seen where people are discussing percent without something? Even when we started this morning to discuss about the cathedral, when we say 80%, it must be something to something. It's 80% over the total, right? So percent is a relative term. And for me, there are only two main ways which we use percent. That is a percentage increase or percentage off. Or percentage increase. Let's say we can say Lagos is what percent of Nigeria. But in an exam like this, we can also say Nigeria is what percent of Lagos. Yes, we can say Lagos is what percent of Nigeria. Nigeria is what percent of Lagos. I mean, mathematically we can express. Okay. Don't also forget that percent, if we say a number increased by 100%, it means we double the number. Is that not? So to increase the number by 100%, we double the number. But where is that doubling coming from? The doubling is coming because if I have, let's say I have this phone, and I get exactly this phone again, and I have double of it now. The one I have was there. If I added another one, so I have added another one to the one I have before. So the one I have before is 1. So if to get 100% of a number is add another one of it. In the same way, to increase a number by 100% means the number doubled. And to increase the number by 50% means we now have 150% of it. That's times 1.5, right? Let's take this little example. Example. If you increase the number by 50%, let's say 100, number is 100, you increase it by 50%, what will you now have? 150. The traditional way of doing this could be to say, the traditional way of increasing a number by 50% would be to say 50% of 100 plus 100, which is 150, right? But we can just say times 50. Okay, but let's leave 50, or let's use 20. If I increase something by 20%, what I now have is 120% of that, right?
Yes.
That's times 1.2 times it. In the same way, if I reduce something by 20%, it's not remaining 80%. That is 0.8, right? Times what? Than the original. Okay, but you can also work this out. You can work this out. Okay, you can work this because why I'm stopping here now to talk is simply because you see, I would like you to put it as part of what you use. There's also some questions that is better to use the long method. So the long method is I find 20% of 100, which is 20. I add it to 100, that's 120. The shorter method will be 1.2 times 100. But depending on the nature of the question, one approach may be better than
1.2.
Yes, if I want to increase 100 by 20%, it's 1.2 times 100.
Why is it 1.2?
Okay, check the explanation again. If I increase anything by 20%, what I now have is 120% of it. Right? Now, let me use an entirely different explanation. Let's say we have a scale, and on that scale, 100 represents 1. Right? 120 will represent 1.2. On a scale, a scale where 100 represents 1, 120 will represent 1.2, right? So this times 1.2. In the same way, 80% will represent 0.8. Okay, but we can also derive this from the old method. So I'm going to write now. Let's say we have 100 and we want to add 20% of it. Don't forget that 20% of 100 will be 20 over 100 times 100. Is that not? Then if you take one of, then there is 100 here and there is 100 there. Don't also forget that 20 over 100 is 0.2. So 100 is common. We bring that 100 outside the bracket. Then 1 is remaining here, plus 20 divided by 100 will be 0.2. You see now, this is back to 100 times 1.2. 100 times 1.2. Okay, so this is one thing. Another one is so wait, what have we said about percent? Okay, this things we already know how to do this. We only want trying to formulate, but also remember that percentage increase, or say percentage change, because change can be increased or decreased, is what? Change over original times 100, right? Percentage change is change over original times 100. Okay, let me ask you. Let's say somebody bought an item 100 million and sold it for 120 million. What would be the person's? Oh no, we bought an item for 100 million and sold it for 120 million.
Okay.
Your percentage profit is 20%.
Yeah.
It's 20%. But it's always good if we know what we're doing here is how do we formulate it when it gets a little complex. This 100 million is the same thing as what? Cost price. This selling this 120 is what? Selling price. But it's also good to call it a marked price. Do you get? Selling price is also good to think about it as a marked price, so that you might now later want to mark it down, right? When you mark it down, you are given discount. You know, when a company want to give a discount, it's not necessarily that they must come back to the original, right? But a company can also sell at loss, right? Maybe to sell an item, just finish it and move on. Okay, let's move on now. Let's move on. So percentage change is change over original times 100. Okay, these are the common things. 40% of 15, so we can quickly find. So this we can quickly find. 150% of 48, we can find, right? 150% of 150% of 48, we can easily find. Is that not?
150%
of 48.
of 48.
Yes, that's 150 over 100 times
150
48.
over 100 times 48.
Okay.
Off is times.
Yes, off is nice. Let's move on. Okay, so these are the basic thing. Okay, so you see the type of thing I was saying. 150 is what percent of 30? Because this is something they can also ask you. Yes, there's also this one. 11 is what percent of 55? That's 11 over 55 times 100, right? 11 over 55 times 100 is 20%.
11 is what percent of 11 over 55?
Yes, 11 over, that is 20%.
Okay, 11 over 55.
Yes, times 100.
Okay,
Yes.
the question is that this times is 11 over, you do the
Yes,
over
that is,
times 100.
yes, 11
And
over.
this one is 150 over 30 times 100.
Yes, because yes, times 11 over 55 times 100% is 20%. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. What you know when I said We can also find Nigeria is what percent of Lagos, because 150 is what percent of 30. It will be 150
over 30 times 100.
over 30 times 100. Yes, that is 500.
Oh, it's simple.
Yes, yes. It might still get a little challenging. Okay, so the basic ratio, we have already said the basic ratio when we use 1 million and divided it into the ratio of 3:2, but here is also 20 divided into the ratio of 3:2. Okay, so this is something we have already covered this. So let's move on. If a person's salary increased from 200 per week to 234 per week, what is the percentage increase in the person's salary? Okay, but we are not using calculator here. But do you know that this is the same thing? What we can also interpret, because in some other exam, and what we can interpret, okay, interpret. Do you know this 234 divided by 200? Anything it gives us, we can interpret. We can interpret. Can you work it out? Even if it is with calculator, can you quickly do 234 divided by 200?
Can you do this without calculator? It take time.
Yes, no, don't worry. Yeah, you can do without calculator. You can do without. I want to just show you something. Yes, use calculator.
1.17.
1.17. So this 0.17 is that the excess, right? That's the 17% increase, right? Remember that 1 is there. 1 is always there, so is the 17% increase. But if you want to solve this in a traditional method, remember that the percentage increase is percentage change. Percentage change is what? Change
Over original
times 100.
That is 234 minus 200.
Yes.
Over 200.
Yes.
Times 100.
That is 34 over 200, right?
Yes.
Times 100. So you can also quickly do it. 34 divided by 200, then
17.
is 17. Okay.
Kelvin. Did it come out?
Try the next one. If an athlete's weight decreased from 160 pounds to 150 pounds.
What is the percentage decrease in weight? Okay.
So give that a try. Give that a try now.
Okay. That is 8 over 160 times 100.
Okay.
That is 8 over 160. That is 8. 8 over 160. 160.
Yes. 8 over 160 times 100.
Yeah, that's how it's right.
Okay.
It's easy.
Okay. Let's move on. So similarly, I think that one, a particular stock is valued at 40% per share. If the value increased by 20% and then decreased by 25%, what will be the value? So this is also a very interesting question. First, I know that calculator is not allowed. Is not allowed on the GMAT exam. But so let's understand how to do this stuff. First, how to do this is simple. Okay. How to do this is simple. One.
Calculate 5% of this 40.
Yes, but that will be waste of time. I think I also when we are saying when you increase the number by 20%, it becomes times 1.2, right?
Yeah.
So if you have 40, if you increase it by 20%, that is the same thing as saying times 1.2. That is times 1.2. Then times, if you decrease the number by 25%, that is remaining 0.75. That is 0 times 0.75. Is that not? If I decrease the number by 25%, what is now remaining is 75%. True or false?
Yes.
Also, that's 25%. That's 75%. So it will be 40 times 1.2 times 0.75. You can press it now.
But I think I know on that way.
Yes, but this one will be the fastest way. Yes, is it correct?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So you multiply it by times 1.2. That represents the increase. Then times 0.75. That represents the decrease. Now let's now move on. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, if comping P, oh, I think something is missing. I need to scroll up. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes. Comping P had 15% more employees in December than it had in January. If company P had 460 employees in December, how many employees did it have in January? This is a little challenging question, but can you give it a try?
If company P had 50% more employees in December than it had in January, if company P had 460 employees in December, how many does he have? That means it's minus 15% now. Okay, it's possible. I can do this one.
Okay, just but do it now, please.
Okay. That you have to get the total percent. Yes.
But let's see. But it's kind of what we did before. Company P had 15% more employees in December than it had in January. Okay, more in December than it had in January. If Company P had 400 employees in December, how many employees did it have in January? I think this should be straightforward. Which one increased? First, let's ask ourselves. December and January, which one had increase? Which one increased? Company B had 15% more in December than it had in January. So from January till December, there's a 15% increase. Is that not?
Yeah.
Now let's get the 15%. So think about it.
1.5.
Is 15% is 1.15. Is that not? 50. Remember that if we want to increase a number by 15%, we will have said y times 1.15. That will have given us the increase. So y times 1.15 is what will have given us 460. Is that not? Hello? Y, a number times 1.15 gave us 460. Right? If you want to get that number back, we have to say 460 divided by 1.15.
Yeah.
So what we are going to find is that y is 460 divided by 1.15. So can you do it now? 460 divided by 1.15.
$400.
400. Okay. So again, 13 is what you can do. You can actually do all of them. There's none of them you can do, but it's kind of how you put them together. So this is also ratio. The ratio of the length and width of the ratio of the length to the width of a rectangular advertising display is approximately 3.322. If the width of the display is 8 meters, what is approximately length of the display? So this is also ratio. You increase the ratio. You move from 3.3. Which one is the width? The width is now. So how do we move from 3.3 to 8? So you need to find out what you moved with. That's all. Yeah. What do we multiply 3.3 to give us 8? But again, I think the way to get such is to say 8 divided by 3.3. Then we will know what factor we use. 8 divided by 3.3. Remember, so that is also a way of doing all this without calculator. So 8 divided by 3.3. Okay, 2.42. So now 2.42 times yeah, the width is 8, so 2.42. No, I think first, wait, the ratio of the length to the width. So length comes before width. Okay, length comes before width, is that not? I mean, according to this question, length comes before width. That means width is actually 2. The width is 2. If the width of the display is 8, so what we're supposed to look for here is 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is what? Is 4, right? The factor is from 2 to 8, which is easier to solve. The width increased from 2 to 8, right? Which is times 4, right?
Yes.
So we're also going to do 3.3 times 4. So 3.3 times 4 is what we're looking for. Can you find out that? 3.3 times 4? But if you don't have calculator, what will you do? You say, oh, 3 times 3 is 12. That means 3.3 times 4 is definitely more than 12, right?
Yes.
Meaning that 7 and 11 are not correct. Think about this again. 4 times 4 is what? Meaning that
Answer is between.
yes, thank you. The answer is C, 13. Okay, you will try 16 for me later. Let's do number 18 together. The present ratio of students to teachers at a certain school is 30:1. So we can set up this ratio as 30:1. So student to teachers, that is S over T is 30/1. If the student enrollment were to increase by 50 students, and the number of teachers were to increase by 5, the ratio of students to teachers would then be 25:1. What is the present number of teachers? If we have S over T equals 30:1, one thing is certain, that we can quickly grab S to be equal to 30T. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have grabbed that one. Let's see what else we can do. What else we can do is what the second part of the latter part of the question, that this is S. The question says, if the number of enrollment were increased, if the student enrollment were to increase by 50, S plus 50, okay, and the number of teachers were to increase by 5, that is T plus 5, is that not? The ratio of students to teachers would then be 25:100. Sorry, 25:1. Let's keep solving. Let's cross multiply at this point. I hope you are comfortable with it. So S plus 50 equals 25T plus 25 times 5, 125. 125. But we also know that, what is the present number of teachers? But we also know that S is the same thing as 30T. Is that not?
Yes.
Yes, so we put 30 there. So that would be like, but first, so that would be like 30T plus 50 equals 25T plus, that is, do we have any other, oh, that is all, plus 125. So let's collect like terms and solve. 30T minus 25T is 5T. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, 5T Upwards
125 and
is what?
75.
Is 75. 75 divided by 5
15.
is 15. So that's how we got that. Got the 15. Okay, so number 19 is also something you can attempt. We need to say a glass was filled with 10 ounces of water. 10 ounces of water. 10. And 0.01 ounces of the water evaporated each day during 20-day period. What percent of the original amount of water evaporated during this period? 0.01 was evaporating, and it did this for 20-day period. That is 0.01.
That's what we 10 ounces of
Yes, 10 is the total. 0.01 times 20 is what evaporated. Is that not? So what we are looking for will be 0.01 times 20, right, over the original,
Yes.
which is 20, which is 10, right? Is 10, then times 100%.
Yes. Make everything.
Yes, can you work it out? Remember that 100 there can cancel the 0.01, so we are left with 20 over 2 or 20 over 10, right?
Yes.
Which is 2%. So Leona bought a 1-year 10,000 certificate of deposit that paid interest at an annual rate of 8%, compounding semi-annually. What was the total amount of interest paid on this certificate at maturity? So this looks a little confusing, but can you look at it a little? At least, even if you can't solve it, check if you can at least maybe say something. Just say something. Say what you understand. We need we need to look at this critically. First, looking at something critically simply means look at it very well. If I'm getting 8%, if we are getting 8% yearly. Now,
So this is semi-annual.
yes, annually is yearly, right? Annually means yearly. No, I'm coming. Annually means yearly. This is semi-annually, but annually means yearly, yeah, right? Then semi-annually will be 4%. Is that not? Hello?
Yes.
You know, when you want to solve question, first of all, and also what we discussed yesterday, at some point yesterday I told you, the simple things no matter how complex a new formula is, you shouldn't take the place of those simple things. 8% yearly, 4% semi-annually, right? Semi-annually just means half a year, just like Nigeria plays semi-final, which is half before the final. Okay.
I thought it's half of this 8%. I thought it's half of 16%.
No, where did you get the 16%?
Like the total of the year will be 8 plus 8.
Yes, no. This 8% was
Is
compounded. Yes, this the 8%. The percent is normally given. Is
Okay, the annual rate.
Yes, the annual rate is written there. Okay, see how it will now be compounded. Back to what we did today. We have this 10,000. Okay, let's start compounding it. Compounding it first, for the half of the year, we are going to increase it by 4%. right? Which we can simply say times 1.04, because to increase the number by 4% means to multiply it by times 1.04, right?
4%.
Yes.
Yes.
To multiply it by times 1.04. We
How
can
do you
find
do that? 4/100.
yes, 4/100 is okay. First, come back to this. To increase a number by 100% means to multiply it by 2. No, let's go back. To increase a number by 100% means to multiply that number by 200 by 2. To increase a number by 50% means the number is not 150%. That means to multiply it by 1.5.
Yeah.
And so to increase the number by 4% means to multiply it by 1.04. Remember, how did you get that 2? You got that 2 by saying 1 plus 100 over 100. 1 plus 100 over 100 is 2.
1 plus.
To increase the number by 100% means to multiply it by 2. How did we got the 2? We got the 2 by saying 1 plus 100 over 100. To increase the number by 50% means to multiply it by 1.5. How did we get there?
Yeah.
1 plus 50 over 100.
1 plus 50 over 100.
Yes, that's 1.5.
1 plus 50 over 100.
50 over 100 is 0.5. 1 plus 0.5 is 1.5. Now, to increase the number by 4% is to multiply it by 1.04. How? Because
1 plus
1 plus 4 over 100.
Okay, 4 over 100.
Yes, 4 over 100 is 0.04. Okay. Now, to
increase is 1 plus.
Yes. To decrease is 1 minus.
1 minus.
Yes.
Okay.
Because to decrease the number by 20% it is remaining 80. That's 1 minus 0.2, which is 0.8. Okay, let's go. But we have used this up to 3 times today. But I hope you, yeah, I believe when we use it more, maybe more examples. So the first half of the year, we compounded it, we increased it by 1.04. Then whatever we get, we increase it again by 1.04 again. Can you work it out? Remember, if we are not using calculator, this is also very easy thing we can do without calculator. But for the sake of time, we can do here without calculator. On a very good day, we can set out, maybe do all our work without calculator, or maybe say how to do this without calculator. But work it out now. Let's see if we can get an answer. 10,000 times 1.04 times 1.04.
$10,860.
10,860. 10,860 or 816? 10,816. Now, if I started with 10,816 and I now have 10,000, if I started with 10,000 deposit and I now have 10,816, what is my increase?
Minus 16.
Which is 10,816 minus 10,000, right?
Yeah.
That will give us 816. So that's why the 816 is there. All right, I think we will stop here now. I'm sorry I came late, but but just try. Some of them just try.
Why did you do this 1.04 times 1.04?
But we have been doing that.
Why did you not just do it 1.04 plus 1.04?
But it will not make sense. Yes. Do you know how to do most of these things? How to do most of these things is try something you know, right? Just try something very small that you know. Okay, let's just say, let's use something manageable. Let's say that Leona deposited 100. Deposited 100. Okay, at 50%, at 20% increase. 100 at 20%. Okay.
20% increase is 1 plus 20 over 100. Right?
Yes.
That is 1.2.
Yes, that is 1.2. But let's do it the long way. Okay. let's say we have 100 compounded annual rate of 20%, means semi-annual will be 10%, right?
Yes.
Now, if we do it 10 plus 10, so it will be 1.1 plus 1.1, that is 1.2. Then 1.2 times 100, you see that it will not give you.
Not match, yes.
Yes, it will not match. It will not match the answer. But it's very small thing. It's very, very small thing. Right? It's very small. Do you know why I say it's very small? Do you know that if you say 1.04 plus 1.04, that is 1.08. 1.08 times 10,000, that is 10,800. So it's very small. Small, that is a difference of 16. Right? It's very close to it, but it will not be. Like this one too, if you do 1.1 times 1.1, to give you 1.21. But if you do 1.1 plus 1.1, that will be 1.2. So this one will give you 121. The other one will give you 120. Just very small thing. Okay. All right. So thank you, and we continue tomorrow. But if there is no other thing we add today, when you want to do a percentage increase or decrease, so you have two main options. Either to go the long way, like here, this question we solve, we could have also say find 4% of 10,000, write it down, then find 4% of that new value. It will still give us this. Yes, it will still give us this. Okay, so thank you, and I think the next class is on Monday, right? Okay, right? Yeah. Monday, yeah.
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday. We continue on Tuesday.